Hello, my name is Thomas Krallo and welcome to my YouTube channel where we talk all things trading, finances and money in general. Now today is a really special day in Northern Europe. It's finally sunny and quite warm, so I'm excited and I have some spare time so that I can record a video for you guys. And a lot of people have asked me the same question over and over and over again on social media, and that was, what did I do before I got into trading and before I started making a lot of money? And quite honestly, from the youngest age that I can remember myself, I was always a kind of a hustler. So I would try buy and sell stuff, and especially when I moved to United States, I started hustling like crazy. I was always after money. I was always trying to make a profit, flip things and maybe get something for free, you know, clean it up, fix it up and then sell it. And my real first businesses and real deals that I did were in the States. And if you've been watching me and if you're my subscriber for a while, then you know that I am not a US citizen and I don't live in the United States. I visit quite often, but I am from Europe. But my English I learned when I lived quite a few years in the United States. As a matter of fact, I lived in New York for almost 5 years. And that's where my English comes from, and that's where I learned how to make money. And it was just incredible. It was an amazing time. And the first money that I started making, the real money, the interesting money, putting aside all the things that I did some flips and trades and selling when I was younger in high school and so on. So when I just moved to the States, I realized that there is a thing that is called Craigslist. And God, I loved Craigslist. There are so many creepy things and quite honestly purely dangerous things going on. However, I learned how to exploit it and use it to my advantage. So what I would do with a friend of mine, we would be looking in the free section. For example, in Latvia, in the northern European country where I live and I'm currently here, there is no such free section. There is nothing free in Latvia. Everybody is quite poor and everybody is trying to sell a piece of shit for a piece of gold price. That's just the local mentality. But in the States, people are more relaxed, they're more forthcoming, and they are more leaning towards giving some old thing away and perhaps, you know, helping somebody out, so donating something and so on and so forth. So this is pretty much, I believe, the reason why there was the free section on Craigslist. So, but and I was that nasty person. I did exploit this free section, and me and my friend, we got ourselves a really old E250 Ford van, and it was yellow, and it still had those imprints on the sides from some plumbing company that used to own it. The stickers were peeled off, but the glue was still stuck on the sides of the van, and the part of some words were still readable, and it was some kind of a plumbing company. So you can imagine a really old rusted E250 yellow van with old plumbing stickers on the sides. It was quite ridiculous. So what we did with this van, and we basically wanted the cheapest van possible, the least amount of investment, and we didn't really quite honestly have any money. So we bought it for about, I believe it was around $1,000. So we would wake up early and we would be checking out the free section on Craigslist, who is posting what, giving things away, and we would be picking out the best, the nicest things. So maybe some kind of a couch or an armchair or maybe a dining table or an old TV and these kinds of things. So the things that weren't broken, weren't completely damaged to shit, and if they were damaged, we would only pick those items up that would be possible to actually fix up and then resell. So we would wake up, we would do our morning routine, we would check all the things that were available and that were posted as free, and we would make a list, would make some phone calls to those people, those really nice, great people that were ready to part with their items for free. And yeah, so basically, and then after we made those calls, agreed on the precise times when we would arrive to check out the item and pick it up. So we would basically go out and fill up the van, and we had a small storage unit on the outskirts of our city where we were operating, and it was always full of stuff. So couches, TVs, dining tables, some closets, and many different things like these. So it was quite an amazing experience when you actually have a full storage unit full of different kinds of things, but you got them all for free. So it's free value, and it was great business, because guess what, we would, for example, I remember we one Saturday we saw a really nice, I believe that material is called the velour. It's like Alcantara texture, really light grayish, whitish couch that was quite obviously, there's Latvian Hells Angels. All right, so it was obviously quite in a poor shape, meaning it wasn't ripped apart or anything. It was just dirty because it was very light color. So we picked it up and we spent about half of the Saturday afternoon cleaning it up. And guess what? It cleaned very nicely. And afterwards, we sold it, I believe, in a few days for around $600. It was a really big corner style couch, so it was a really big one that consisted of quite a few sections. So yeah, we made quite a lot of money on basically getting things for free and then selling them. Some of the couches we would sell for $100, some for $200, and this was our personal best on selling it for around, I believe it was $500–600. Then of course dining tables, they would go for anywhere starting with $40 up to $200, depending on the size, condition, and the material, and so on and so forth. So we were basically making money out of thin air, and this was many years ago. I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, something like that. So it was quite a while back, but I don't know if it's still possible. I haven't checked this kind of stuff in a while now. Then we moved on to creating an unofficial pawn shop, meaning that we would have also on Craigslist advertisements that we are buying and selling different electronics. So people would call us saying that they have, at that time I believe iPhone 4 was out, iPhone 5 was out, and people would call us saying that, well, I have an iPhone 4 almost brand new, you know, it was Verizon or AT&T, or maybe it was, you know, unlocked, so any carrier was good, so it was good for any carrier. And the phone, let's say, was worth at the time around $500, and I'd tell them, how about I pick it up from you for $400, so $100 less. A lot of people would tell us to go fuck ourselves, but some people actually agreed, so we would drive out, or sometimes people would actually bring us the phones themselves. So we would be buying the phones and electronics, and it would also be not just iPhones, it could be iPads and iMacs and MacBooks and absolutely anything pretty much, and Samsung phones and so on and so forth. So basically we would be hustling pretty much any electronics, and yeah, it was amazing when you're buying something easily at $100 below fair market value, and then it takes you just a few days to sell it for fair market value, and you're making $100 per smartphone, just per iPhone. And let me tell you, we were getting like at least one iPhone each single day. And at some point there was a guy who brought us a MacBook Air, I believe it was almost brand new, and it just came out, and the guy had the screen was broke, so retina, that glass itself, it was shattered, and we told them, well, I don't know, it's quite unfixable, I believe, and that it's quite difficult to fix it. See, the screen is broken, we have to replace it. And you are not gonna believe me, but the fair market value of this MacBook at the time was around, it's hard for me to recall the precise numbers, but I believe it was around $1,200 to $1,300, and we ended up paying him around $300 or $400. Then we ordered a new piece of glass from eBay, and all it took was half an hour of labor and a heat gun, which I had anyway because I was fixing iPhones. and we stuck that glass on there, and we sold it for fair market value, a little bit below, to sell it quickly for around $1,100 or $1,200. So that was a profit of around $600 to $700 in a few days. Plus the iPhones, plus all the iMacs that we were also hustling, plus buying and selling, plus the furniture that we were getting for free. There was a lot of work, so we had to work quite a lot, and to be honest, we were just doing this stuff. We were so interested in making money, and it was just like sports, pretty much, just waking up and making money, finding deals, small ones. And we were like 16, 17, 18 years of age. So let that sink in for a second. We were making a lot of money. I believe in the best month we made around $10,000 or $12,000 for both of us. So it was 5 or 6K each. And that was an amazing amount of money. And me coming from Europe, from a middle-class family, this is more than my mother has ever made per month. So it was just pure insanity. And then we got into cars. So I guess maybe this is the instinct that each car dealer in New Jersey has. I don't know, I'm not going to be the judge of that, but we got into cars. So we would be buying and selling cars. And I remember the first car, and it was perhaps percentage-wise the best deal we've done with cars, being young kids. And it was buying a Mazda 2001 dark green Mazda Protege. I remember it until this day. That car was total piece of shit, but the Kelley Blue Book value was around $2,700 at the time, and I believe the girl who was selling it, she wanted like $1,000, which was already quite low. And yeah, so we came to take a look at it, and it was burning oil, and there was quite a lot of rust on it, but we negotiated the price down to $500. So we bought something that is potentially worth over $2,000 for $500. And we sold then we basically flipped the title, which wasn't very legal, but I think about 10 years passed, so I can admit to this crime at this point. Well, not a big deal. And yeah, we flipped it very, very quickly for a hefty profit of almost $2,000. We spray painted the rust, and we did fix up the burning oil. It was just a head gasket, and a couple of things like that. I believe we did something else with the interior. We changed the oil, obviously. In the engine, it was just gone. There was almost no oil. And then we flipped it quite quickly. Otherwise, it was a really nice car. And then we would lose some money on some cars. They will make some money on some cars, and then we actually started building our capital. We would start making more and more money, and we would start investing more and more money. And that's when we started losing here and there some money, because we got too confident in our abilities and in our hunches that something that is worth bargaining for and buying with the hope of reselling it later at a higher price. So yeah, but that's pretty much, and we did it for many years, and I actually even managed to study in college in the process and get my bachelor's degree and my high school equivalency diploma. And yeah, it was quite an amazing journey, and that's when I returned back to Europe for a few family reasons. And I still had some money saved up from all that hustling, and I did try a few other businesses. I did waste quite a lot of money on different ideas. And then I decided that I want to pursue education and become a lawyer. And that's when I met my mentor, who taught me pretty much everything that I know in trading. And that was about a bit over 7 years ago now. And to be honest, I've never done anything ever since, and now this is my new project that I am actually starting to teach other people how to trade. So basically creating my own learning program for anybody who is interested in trading, and this is my next business. So I was hustling when I was really young, then I had quite a rough patch, then I met my mentor, and 7 years straight I was just isolated in the world of trading and trying to make as much money as I can. And there are quite a few reasons now why I would like to go into teaching other people how to trade, but that's, I guess, a topic for another video. By the way, if you are interested in trading, I'm doing quite a lot of live webinars, and there's gonna be a link in the description below if you want to register for one and see what I have to say about trading, and I'm sharing quite a lot of knowledge, a lot of really great working trading tips that I haven't seen anywhere around so far. So once again, interested in trading, hit the link below in the description and register for my next free live webinar about trading, and hope to see you there. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.